Hello and welcome to another episode of InfoWars Press. Tonight, we're going to talk about something I saw in the news this morning, which is this. Mediators in Cairo, including the CIA chief, renew the push for Gaza ceasefire. Now, we also have Reuters saying that they're looking forward to peace talks. And this actually from Reuters says that Biden is calling for a ceasefire. So we also have from Reuters that President Biden and Jordan's King Abdullah are putting on pressure for a Gaza Strip ceasefire. Now, let's take a little look at this, okay? So Biden is pushing for a ceasefire. This is the propaganda in this piece if you really dig into it. Now, what I want y'all to know is that while Biden is talking about a ceasefire, what they actually are talking about is a pause in the conflict to release hostages. They want Hamas to release hostages. So they're only going to pause this until Hamas releases hostages, and then they're going to go back to fighting. That's if they can convince Netanyahu to actually do this pause, or what they're all touting as a ceasefire. But I want you to know that since 1947, the U.S. has provided, according to the State Department, 130 billion US dollars to Israel in military support, which is an average of 17 billion a year. Now, of course, that varies between 3 billion here and 10 billion there, but it's an average of $17 billion a year, according to the US government's own numbers. However, they're not including the weapons that they send in that. If you look at the weapons they send, it actually comes to $260 billion since 1947, which is an average of 34 billion a year, twice that. The numbers I have from October 7th to December 26th show that 4 American cargo planes and 20 ships have delivered over 10,000 tons of military equipment to Israel since October 7th in support of this war in Gaza. Now, the U.S. says that they're critical of Israel's ability to continue bombing Gaza, but they have sent roughly 15,000 bombs, 57,155 millimeter shells, and another 5,000 MK-84 2,000-pound warheads, which Israel has been dropping on the populated areas of Gaza. And this is according to an analysis by the New York Times. I've looked at other sources and get the same sorts of numbers. So it's a lot of weapons for a country that is looking for a ceasefire. Let's also consider that the UK sends military support to Israel, as does the European Union. So these countries in the West that are the biggest proponents of peace in the UN, in Israel and Gaza, are actually the ones who are supporting the war. So, this is like some other conflicts going on around the world. They say we want peace. They vote against it in the UN, particularly the United States and the UK. And then they make a big deal in the news about, we have to have peace, but let's ship a bunch of bombs to Israel to continue the war. Now, we also just had the US Senate pass a bill that provides funding for various wars, Ukraine and Israel, military operations in the Indo-Pacific region, including Taiwan. But part of this was 14 billion more for Israel. So again, I have to ask you, is the United States really calling for peace, or is it just propaganda? I'll let you figure it out, but I know where I stand on this one.